Alright, what's up everybody? It's been a little while since I covered actual entertainment news. I know we've talked briefly about Warner Brothers and the future of Lord of the Rings, but there's not really a whole lot to talk about when it comes to that topic yet, as the details are pretty scant. There's not really much information out there yet. But it has been fun to watch, the entertainment world the last few months, woke Hollywood losing their mind, just pushing this identity politics and agenda just to the forefront. And if you don't really know what I'm talking about, Velma was the perfect example of get woke, go broke. They went so woke that they just went out of their way to try to offend everybody. New fans, old fans, anybody who ever watched Scooby-Doo to begin with, which personally I'm not even a big Scooby-Doo guy. I've never understood the appeal of Scooby-Doo. To each their own. I got no problem with it, but it just wasn't for me. Well, it was definitely no doubt that this show was not faithful to its origins. It was definitely meant to mock the original and, belittle the fans, which the race swapping was only one piece of that. Making Velma Indian instead of just some nerdy white girl, that was just a frosting on this giant turd of a show. Then we had, briefly before that, of course, Vox reporting on the racist backlash to The Little Mermaid and Lord of the Rings being exhausting and extremely predictable. What they're referring to was the Rings of Power, which had massive identity politics, was not faithful to Tolkien. It wasn't even good fan fiction. It was like terrible fan fiction written by some, 20-year-old SJW. It was bad shit, okay? Terrible show. Probably one of the worst high-budget products I've ever watched in my entire life. And so, what Disney decided to do was to roll out this trailer for Little Mermaid Reimagined to be more modern, try to inject some diversity in there, rewrite Ariel from a pale-skin redhead into a dark-skin dreadlocked redhead, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know how dreadlocks work underwater. Those are dreads, right? They're not braids, as far as I can tell. So I'm not sure how dreads would even flow through water. As far as I knew, being somebody who's never had dreadlocks, I thought you're not supposed to get them wet. I don't know. But again, not going well for Disney. This identity politics, race swapping, tokenization of classic characters, not going terribly well. As you can see from this trailer, which this thing has been downvoted all to hell. 27 million views. As of at this current time from when they uploaded it 5 months ago, 1.2 million likes, 3.5 million dislikes. So of the 27 million views, this is a substantial percentage, because most people who view something don't take the time to like it. They barely take the time to even, think about what they just consumed. This is bad for Disney. So now we've seen it yet again with the new Peter Pan and Wendy. Not just Peter Pan, because Peter Pan's no longer good enough on his own. Peter Pan and Wendy, that has been debuted, featuring a black Tinkerbell. Well, it's not just a black Tinkerbell. It's a black Tinkerbell. It's Wendy obviously needing to get injected into the forefront, because you can't have a girl relying on the strong man. Not that anybody would ever claim Peter Pan's a strong man, but that's beside the point. But you also have the Lost Boys, which now has different gendered people. I don't know if they're going the non-binary route, but it's got girls in there, and of course they're the Lost Boys, but they're also girls. It's just dripping with modern identity politics. It's so cringe. It's not even funny. So yeah, we have this race-swapped Tinkerbell, where Tinkerbell has always looked the same since the 1940s, when this movie first came out, the first animated film. I feel like Peter Pan's one of those 1940s, 1950s classic films. Well, speaking of classic films, Seth Rogen, a man that I loathe and detest. Honestly, I'm sorry if you find Seth Rogen funny, good for you. I have always detested the man. I don't get it. I don't understand why people have thought he's funny. He's got a face that needs to be punched, and I'm speaking metaphorically. Don't go out there and attack him. But I just don't get it. And here we have the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that's been debuted. Animation style aside, it's not my thing. But they have done it. They have race-swapped April O'Neil. According to Screen Rant here, it says, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans are loving that April O'Neil is black again in Mutant Mayhem. I'm not sure what they mean again. Maybe there was a comic book that had a black April. I don't know. But it's crazy to me that they've actually taken the intentional like choice to make a character who's already like established since the 80s. She's known for having pale skin, red hair, yellow jumpsuit, and instead they give you not even like a decent depiction of an attractive black woman. They give you this chubby, frumpy black girl with dreads. The whole thing, it's like it's nothing close to what the character even looks like. And there have been people who've tried to argue that, oh, the character is supposed to be black, and if you look at the original comics, she's black. It's like, no. No, if you actually look at the original comics, even some of the ones that were created in black and white, the character, she looks like Demi Moore on Flashdance. She's got like the Jerry curls. It is not a black woman with dreads. It is so far from the truth, but these people will lie just to try to make their point. They don't care about being truthful. As long as they win, that's all that matters. So we even have YouTubers like Angry Joe lashing out at people, calling people that are not even white racist for having a problem with it. People like Eric July, very, very popular black creator, YouTuber, very much into the comic scene, created his own comic book company, did fantastic with his little Kickstarter thing he did. And yet, Angry Joe wants to tell him that he's a bigot, he's a racist for not liking this fat black woman. It's absolutely insane. And from Cosmic Book News, we have April O'Neil is white, not black. Hollywood loves to replace characters with red hair, of which there can be no doubt. And this is a fact. This has been something that's been well documented, well known by a lot of people, a lot of fans of different IPs, not just comic books, not just Ninja Turtles. I'm talking different stories across the board, whether it's Marvel or even Orphan Annie. I mean, there have been characters that are classic, red-haired, mostly female, but occasionally there's some men in there too, that for some reason have been replaced with diversity politics. I don't want to say people of color because I hate that term. To me, POC almost sounds like a derogatory term. It's like, why do we have to lump anybody who's not, pale white as a POC? That's so bizarre to me. What do Guatemalans and Ethiopians have in common? But somehow they're lumped together. But yeah, I think honestly they have the original comic book here. I think this is the original image here from one of the first comics featuring April O'Neil. Absolutely no doubt in my mind, or anybody who's going to be honest about it, that she's white. Now you could say, sure, maybe tone down the sexualization for kids and stuff. I understand that. But if you just look at this across the board, look at the amount of redheaded characters that have been not only replaced with somebody who doesn't have red hair, but basically, I hate using the term blackwashed. I think that sounds a little offensive. But, you get the idea. People who do not match the character at all, with the intent of basically... It's the idea that if you can erase them on this level, moving forward, this will be the only thing people know of the character. It won't be the version from the 1940s, it'll be the version from 2023. And it's asinine, and I don't understand how they continue to get away with it. I don't know why people continue to give money to these people, but when is enough going to be enough? I mean, I grew up watching the Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, and I haven't watched the Ninja Turtles trilogy, the live-action movie, since, it must have been like 10 or 11, right? So you go 25 years in the future, my kids found it on TV, they watched the original trilogy. I hadn't watched those since I was about their age. And those movies still hold up. And yet, there's absolutely no identity politics in it. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, they're just good movies. And I feel like that's what we're never going to get back to. We're never going to get back to just having good stories that stand alone on their own, that aren't just dripping with some woke agenda, and it's getting really frustrating. But anyways, I just figured I'd talk about this because I haven't had a chance to really cover anything in the entertainment world for a little while. So if you enjoy this, please share, please like, maybe leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.